Hey everybody, I'm Alex Big Blue, and this is the first episode of Ask Alex, the show where you guys ask me questions and I give you the answers. So let's get right to it and start off with the first one. Cup of Comics asks, do you have a favorite indie comic? So, yes, I do. It's an older one, though. I believe it would count because it was one of the original Image series. So my favorite indie comic and or series in general is Wildcats from the original run of the Image early stuff. Wildcats has been something that since ever I read it, I don't know now, probably might have been 8 or 10 years ago. I don't know. It's been a long time, I guess. But ever since I randomly got some of them, however I did, and read some of it, I've been an absolute huge fan of Wildcats. I love teams anyways, but it's one of my favorite teams. They're way up there, especially to be like non-Marvel or DC. But yeah, I always really liked Wildcats a lot in the same way I like a lot of the other teams for the same reasons. But they're very cool, and I've really liked that series a lot, especially that original run with the original lineup of the team. James Gallegos asks, what are your favorite pizza toppings? So, starting off from, I guess, like the main ones I would start with, onward at least, I'm going to say pepperonis and ham and sausage. So, they like all those meats on there. And I would have to go with banana peppers. That's one of my favorite vegetables to be on it. I like banana peppers a lot in general too, but yeah, they're really good on pizza if you haven't tried it. And also with that stuff, I would add mushrooms would be probably my fifth one to add with those. If I was only going to get five, that's probably what I would pick. But I also like other peppers, just in general, as well as I think they have was it onions that they sometimes have on them. A lot of the other kind of common stuff too. I like. All right, pretty much the five I said though would be the top five and the ones I would probably pick if it was the only options I could get. Dave from Just Your Average Geeks asks, "Who is your favorite all-time actor?" And I would have to say that would be Bryan Cranston, which of course is Walter White on Breaking Bad. Is probably the biggest thing for sure. So basically, his acting on that is really what made me really focus on his career more. And I thought he was just one of the all-time best portrayals of a character in that. I thought he did excellent acting through that in general. And I always really liked him in Malcolm in the Middle too before that. Thinking about after that, how he was able to do such great comedy and such great serious, and, like threatening kind of even, types of roles, both is kind of amazing. And I also really liked him in that Godzilla movie for what time he was in that. So I think it's tempting to watch anything that I know he's in now because of that. So I think I have to say, if I have to pick a favorite actor, I think it's him. And Dave also asks, what's your favorite all time video game? So this one's interesting. I have a bunch of video games that I love, and I would love to make a top 10 list or something like that, or at some point for sure. But I think I actually have my answer. I think if I have to pick one, my all-time favorite game, at least right now, what I would say is Skyrim. Of course, it's a game that came out quite a while ago, but I've always played it back then, a long time ago, and I still continue to play it now to this day. I actually just started a newer playthrough recently on Xbox One, actually, as we speak. But yeah, I absolutely love Skyrim. I think it's the best adventure game, in my opinion, at least of the ones I've played. And I don't know, I just love everything about it. That type of world and the characters, the story arcs, the side quests, the monsters and creatures, the mythical properties, all that types of stuff. I just really love that game in general. I always love open world games, and I like also in general Bethesda games. But yeah, Skyrim for me is really the magnum opus of it so far for me. And I just absolutely love that game. So yeah, it's definitely my favorite one if I have to pick one game. Dave also asks, who's your favorite Spider-Man character besides Peter Parker, Miles Morales, and Mary Jane? So I'm assuming that means somebody who was an actual Spider-Man character of some sort. So if that's the case, which I believe it is, I'm gonna say that would be the Scarlet Spider, and also technically, I guess, Spider-Man, which is Ben Riley. So Ben Riley, as a Scarlet Spider, is a very cool character that I've liked a lot for a long time, And I think he has one of the coolest costumes, also, by the way. But yeah, I really like the character. I think he's very likable and just very cool, honestly, just in general. Bottom tier collector asks, who is my favorite character? So I'm assuming he means comic character, probably. So that being said, my favorite overall character in all of comics is Venom. He's been my favorite character ever since the 90s Spider-Man, the animated series, where I first saw Venom, and that's where I learned about him as well. But yeah, I really liked everything about the character on that. I thought his design was awesome for the character. It looked really cool. That was definitely one of the first things that drew me in. And his like weird alien voice, the way it was on that, and his awesome powers where it mirrors Spider-Man in a way, but it's a lot more like a horror version. Of course, being very alien and of course literally and figuratively in nature. And yeah, I've always been very interested by the character and the fact that he became like an anti-hero, and I would almost say just completely a hero later on, more or less. He certainly keeps getting more heroic, I would say. But yeah, anyways, I've always really liked him, and that where he turns like a hero, it really helps too as well. And yeah, he's always been the one that really captures my imagination. 64-page special asks, what is your favorite non-MCU Marvel movie and also franchise? So with that, I already know what my answer is. It is the original Spider-Man movie with starring Tobey Maguire with Green Goblin, and of course all the rest of the amazing cast of that, including J. Jonah Jameson is played by J.K. Simmons, who does that perfectly. And yeah, just in general, everything about that movie I love. And the thing is, too, it really started my love for superhero movies too, because going into it, I actually somebody got me the tickets or whatever because we was going to go see a different movie, and it was kind of a mistake that we happened to see it. And I, me and my brother both loved the movie. We went into it, not knowing what to think because it's a movie version of it. Because I thought going into it, like the cartoons and the comics was kind of the canon version, I guess. So I didn't know how to feel about a movie doing it. But yeah, I really loved the version of what they did with Spider-Man and the universe there in his movies. Bubblegum Skeleton, which is my sister, asked me how many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop. So anyways, I actually looked up the answer to this. They did a bunch of studies and I kind of came up with the most kind of averaged out answers that I found. So the answer to that is about 144 on the low end of the average. So that's kind of give or take where you could start doing it commonly, like if you're doing it on the faster side. But the actual average is about 252, give or take. So yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting. I looked it up and I thought it was funny. So yeah, I actually gave the answer for that one. The Gray Man asks, what are your favorite non-American characters? I think he wanted non-American superheroes and non-American other characters as well. I think that's what he meant. So I'll go ahead and try to answer both. So starting off with the comic characters, some of my favorite ones are Black Panther and Colossus, Nightcrawler, Psylocke, and also Wolverine because he's Canadian, and a bunch of the other. There's a bunch of different mutant characters that I know that I also like quite a bit. But yeah, that's definitely some of them. And now on to the non-comic, non-American characters that I really like. Starting off with just kind of the ones I'm thinking of in my head, I'll give you a couple, which are Ryu and Chun-Li from Street Fighter, and Scorpion from Mortal Kombat, as well as from Dragon Ball Z, a bunch of the characters like Tien, Krillin, Yamcha, and Gohan, and as well as the alien, I guess, technically Piccolo. All of those are up there for sure, too. But all right, I'm Alex Big Blue. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to leave a question for next time when I do this, when I do the next Ask Alex, go ahead and leave your question for that in the comments of this video, and I'll be sure to add that to the next video when I do it again. I'm sure it'll be soon, so yeah, get your questions in. I'm Alex Big Blue. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you later.